Guys, I'm Tim Young here tonight on this great Thursday evening. Before we get started, we've got Cully Stimson with us tonight with a great book. Hopefully, we were having a little bit of technical issues as we were taking off here, but hopefully we'll get to talk about this. This is one of my favorite books. It's something that I think everyone should pick up. If not, I'll just do a 1 hour infomercial on this book because it's absolutely incredible. Probably one of the most interesting pieces that I've gotten while I've been working at the Heritage Foundation. Incredible stuff, and we will get to it in a little bit. But before that, a message from our sponsors.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
There we go. Folks, today's episode is brought to you by one of our sponsors, the American Beverage Association. As you guys have been seeing these videos all week that I've been playing, I want to tell you a little bit more about them. A lot of people are talking about American jobs these days, which is great, but our friends at America's Beverage Companies have been walking the walk this whole time, providing good-paying jobs, the kind that only require strong work ethic. Jobs that make it possible to raise a family, put down roots, and build a future. They always have been and always will be American companies making American products with American workers all across this great country. 275,000 American workers across all 50 states show up every day to put in an honest day's work to help make America great at America's Beverage Companies. Learn more at wedeliverforamerica.org. That's wedeliverforamerica.org. And while we wait for our new friend, Cully Stimson, to come in and join us today, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about his book. I mean, this is really, for me, one of the coolest books, one of the coolest guys to talk to. I said it earlier. Hopefully we'll get him in here. There's a little bit of an audio problem. We can just watch him. He can do sign language maybe for everyone at home. This book, Rogue Prosecutors, it covers exactly what Soros's plan was this entire time. And you can see, and I should just pull it up there. Well, there we go. Well, it covers George Gascon, Kim Fox, Larry Krasner, Kimberly Gardner, Rachel Rollins, Chesa Boudin, Marilyn Mosby, who was one of my favorite ones, and Alvin Bragg, talking about all of these prosecutors that were basically put in because of George Soros. I hope that I can get Cully Stimson on to talk about it with you today. If not, I should put out a call to my friends who also worked on this with him. Looking forward to having him on. I hope you guys have had a great week so far. Oh, look at this, Leanna. Hello. Can we chat? No, we can't. Hope you guys have had a great week while we've been hanging out here. Let me send out a note, and my phone is blowing up while we're trying to figure this out. Looking forward to talking more about things today. I just want to cover some things that I covered on Twitter today while we're waiting for Cully to potentially get back in on this conversation. Here we go. Let's go to Twitter, shall we? This is from a little while ago, but I think this is going to be what New York is going to look like again. This is during the Palestinian pro-Palestinian protests. These crazy people were climbing up and ripping down American flags. And this is, I have a feeling, and the crowd's cheering for him here, by the way. This is what's coming to New York again, but it'll be much more accessible, much more easy to accomplish because of their new potential mayor, who is a radical Muslim. Also, you take a look at if he can get elected, then so can any one of these radical DAs that we're going to be talking about, hopefully here momentarily on the show. So that is one of the things I talked about today on the old Twitter. Let's go back through this morning. By the way, one hell of a press conference, one absolute hell of a press conference from Pete Hegseth coming out, laying it on the media, not tolerating anything from them anymore, not tolerating any of the lies, none of the stuff that they've been pushing. Boy, does it throw me when there's a tech issue with a guest, by the way. But here is, hold on. Let me get this up. Here he is earlier today. Incredible stuff. Here we go.
You see, we're here this morning because in hunting for scandals all the time, in trying to find wedges and spin stories, this press corps and the press corps miss historic moments. You miss historic moments like 5% at NATO, which when you hear, I was in the closed-door briefing. I wish there could have been cameras in there. When you heard the prime ministers and presidents of other countries, to a man and to a woman, looking at President Trump and saying, this never could have happened. Never would have happened. It seemed impossible 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 8 years ago. But here we are because of your leadership. If you asked them the question, I bet they'd say the same thing. But searching for scandals, you miss historic moments, like recruiting at the Pentagon. Historic levels in the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy. Yeah, maybe there'll be a little mention here or there. But because it was under President Trump's leadership, because Americans are responding to him as commander-in-chief, the press corps doesn't want to write about it. Or bring us to the topic of the moment, the highly successful strikes in Iran. Let me read the bottom line here. President Trump directed the most complex and secretive military operation in history, and it was a resounding success, resulting in a ceasefire agreement and the end of the 12-day war. There's been a lot of discussion about what happened and what didn't happen. Step back for a second.
Incredible today, an incredible press conference. We'll get into more of that. Hopefully we don't have any more tech issues. By the way, I really like his pocket square. I like that little subtle American flag that comes out. A really cool pocket square by the guy. I know that I should be focusing more on everything else of the substance, but he's got a cool pocket square. I like it. Also, first Secretary of Defense in probably, 20, 30 years that can do a push-up. So, big deal. Big deal. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Cully. Nope. Well, we lost Cully. We had him for a second, and then we lost him. Do we have him? Nope. We don't. All right. Well, while we're still trying to figure out those tech issues, let's go back to, there's some more stuff here that happened today. That was from our friend Mary Vogt over at the Heritage Foundation. Here is Pete Hegseth absolutely decimating the media earlier today. This was an incredible scene. First, he starts with Fox News, the reporter over there that has been basically, they've been focusing on this gender nonsense. Because he said, hey, the boys and the bomber did a good job. You know, like again, just a regular phrase that you wouldn't think too much of. There goes our boys over there. And the media, of course, take it literally because they want to try to attack anything that they can. And in doing so, we're like, well, there were women on there. Here he goes.
Those locations.
That's not the question, though. It's about highly enriched uranium. Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo Mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance? Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally. What the president says.
Correct.
I'm familiar.
I was about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night. And in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that. So we're looking at all aspects of intelligence and making sure we have a sense of what was where.
Why not acknowledge the female pilots that also participated in this mission?
This is the garbage. Why not acknowledge the female pilots? Like they didn't do that.
Aspects of intelligence and making sure we have a sense of what was where.
Why not acknowledge the female pilots that also participated in this mission? The early messages that you sent out only congratulated the
He's laughing at it. It's so ridiculous.
boys.
So when I say something like our boys and bombers, see, this is the kind of thing the press does, right? Of course, the chairman mentioned a female bomber pilot. That's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's a hero. I want more female bomber pilots. I hope the men and women of our country sign up to do such brave and audacious things. But when you spin it as, because I say our boys and bombers as a common phrase, I'll keep saying things like that, whether they're men or women. Very proud of that female pilot, just like I'm very proud of those male pilots. And I don't care if it's a male or a female in that cockpit, and the American people don't care. But it's the obsession with race and gender in this department that's changed priorities. And we don't do that anymore. We don't play your little games. Yes,
So you
right
know
there.
for certain that the uranium was removed from the facility before the B-2 struck?
So I'm not aware of any intelligence that I've reviewed that says things were not where they were supposed to be, moved or otherwise. Yes.
There you go. I mean, again, this was the media, again, trying to get on him, trying to make it seem like there's some sort of an issue when there was no issue whatsoever. The boys and bombers, how dare he say the boys and bombers, because there might be a woman there. You got to make sure that you have to be as politically correct and play the DEI game as possible to appease your media overlords. Absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully we'll get Cully back here. I don't know what happened. Brings up a discussion about how we should have standardized media materials for everybody to be able to join from wherever they are in the building. All right, here we go. This I thought was very interesting. My good friend, again, Mary Vote today, was hanging out watching this. I think she's on vacation in Costa Rica, and she's still watching the news, doing her job as the VP of Communications over the Heritage Foundation. She found something in the middle of all of this. Hopefully, we'll get Cully here. Let's see if we can hear him real quick. Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you.
This is the biggest podcast in the United States. It was my one big break.
I got you. You're here.
Fine, I've done it 3 times.
I can hear you. Cully, I can hear you. I can hear you. We can hear you. You can't hear me now? How does this work? Oh, brother. I can absolutely hear you right now. So turn on your audio on your side. I can hear you typing. Hold on. I can hear you perfectly. This is really fun. So I can hear him now, but he can't hear me. You can talk. You can talk. I can hear you. You know what we can do? Here's what we'll do. Hold on. We're going to make this work. We're going to make this work.
You can hear me?
Yes.
I cannot hear you.
This show is called Technical Issue.
That's possible.
I have no idea. Is your audio turned down? Maybe turn up your volume? Because I can hear you typing. How about that? Now I can't hear you. That's interesting. All right, well, I had you there for a second. Can you hear me now? Nope. I could hear him a second ago. This is, I can't hear him. Do you have headphones? This is, let me tell you something. This is top tier. This is top tier entertainment right now. Watching 2 middle-aged guys working on their working on their audio. That's what I think. I'm going to blame this. By the way, on Soros DAs. They don't want this. They don't want this information out there. They don't want this information out there. You guys are in the chat. Make sure you say hi. I'm going to go back to this podcast today. The press conference today. This was earlier today. My friend Mary Vote, who's on vacation, she was watching this. She's watching this, and the general of the Air Force, representing the Air Force here, made a reference to Top Gun, which is so dope. Like, so totally dope that he did this.
The crews ranked from captain to colonel, and most were graduates of the Air Force Weapons School, headquartered at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. I will state for the record that there is no beach volleyball or football at the Air Force Weapons School. They were male and female aviators on this mission.
So that is absolute reference to Top Gun, because in the school in Top Gun, of course, they're playing volleyball and football and just having a great time. Not at the Air Force Academy, not with these top dogs there. All right, let's try this again. Now, Cully looks like he's got headphones. All right, how about now? Oh, Not looking good. This is the episode called Can I Hear You? And I cannot. All right. Well, we'll work on it. We'll get back to him. But again, this is an awesome Top Gun reference earlier by the general in charge of the Air Force here, who was at the press conference talking about the B-2 bombers. An incredible, incredible mission. Great success for Donald Trump. Great success for the world. Donald Trump won't get a Nobel Peace Prize for this, of course, because why would he? Why would they respect the guy who's bringing peace to the Middle East? But again, I want to play that clip again while we're still giving Cully some time here to get set up. Here we are, the general for the Air Force. This is, by the way, a very thrilling episode of the show called Will the Headphones Work?
The crews ranked from captain to colonel, and most were graduates of the Air Force Weapons School headquartered at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. I will state for the record that there is no beach volleyball or football at the Air Force Weapons School. They were male and female aviators on this mission.
So, again, the reference to Top Gun, incredible. All right, let's try it again. Cully Stimson, will it work? Hello, sir. Nope, can't hear you. Can you hear me? Why is it that one side works and the other side does not? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I should have just told you. What I should have done was, while I had your audio on that side, I don't know what you hit, but while I had your audio on that side, what I should have done was just type the questions that I had, and then you could have answered them. See, but that would have been too logical for me to figure it out. Just trying my best here. Oh, no. Here we go. I really feel like it is a system issue that you're having problems with over there. Can't hear anything. All right, we'll give it one more crack, and then we'll fold on the evening and then come back to it again, because this is just a frustrating night. I'll just cancel the whole show. We'll come back. We'll do another one next week. I'm in town next week in Washington, D.C., so hopefully I can get you then to talk about this stuff. I was really looking forward to this. Let me see. Hold on. I might be able to pull in a let's see here. Who do I have that I could pull up? Yeah. This is the biggest shit show of a show I've ever had. Here we go. Oop. I'm going to talk about Cully in 1 second, but let's see. Cully, can I hear you? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. All right, we'll do it another time. All right, let's talk about Cully. Cully.com/Tim Young. We will, and I'll get him when I'm in town in Washington, D.C. I don't know what the hell is going on with his computer over there, but I could hear him, but he couldn't hear me. Then he could hear me, but I couldn't hear him. This was called, this episode, instead of Soros Radical DAs, was called Two Middle-Aged Men Try to Figure Out Audio. I really love that one. By the way, a great human being, one of the most brilliant legal minds, I think, in the business right now. I really, really do hope to have this interview at some point here where I can talk to him. Again, Cully's got a hell of a resume, and gave when I first heard him speak, he gave one of the best. Some of you may not know I have a law degree that I don't use. He gave one of the best legal lectures I've ever heard in my life. I wish I would have had him as a professor in law school. That's how good this guy is. Over at the Heritage Foundation, he's deputy director of the Edmeese Center and National Security Law Program, senior legal fellow, senior advisor to the president of the Heritage Foundation as well. And good old Kevin Roberts over there. Great guy, great team. I'm happy to be a part of it. Make sure you go before we go here, and I'll try him one more time before we get out of here. But I'm over on Cully.com/Tim Young. You go over this. It could also be called, this episode could be called Tim plays a couple of clips, gets really quiet, and then goes to ads the entire time. Will the Senate pass a reconciliation bill right now before July 2nd? 32% chance, according to the Cully predictive markets, which, by the way, have been pretty much 100% right the entire time. Before August 2nd, though, they're saying 89%. I believe, according to my pros, I was told that this was going to happen before the 7th of July. So that would be after the 2nd of July, which would mean Cully's onto something here again. Let's go over to the politics page on Cully.com. Who will win the New York City mayoral race? Will it be the Democrat nominee or Eric Adams? And it looks like, again, Cully is scary correct most of the time with these predictive markets. And they're saying that the official Democrat nominee will win it, which would mean Gonna have some Muslim rule and bread lines. Who doesn't want bread lines in their city? When you think great cities in New York, you think bread lines. All right, let's try it one more time, shall we? Let's give it one more crack. Cully. There he is. Beautiful man. Just watching him looking at the computer. Nope. Can't hear me. Well, we did our best. We tried to do a show tonight. We'll do another one later on. But hey, look, I hope you guys are having a great night. I wish this would have worked out. So let's shout out our sponsors again, the American Beverage Association, Cully, and of course, Ezra Zion Cigars. We added them back there. We've got Project 2025 back there. I really am just up for I'm going to be a walking billboard with all the ads for everything that I do. And again, the book, at some point we'll talk about it, Rogue Prosecutors. We should figure all this stuff out. Shall we at some point figure all this stuff out? I'll give it one more crack. Boy, oh boy. This is 20 minutes of Tim struggling here. One more time. Can we hear you? No. But he's a great mind, great legal mind. Hope to have him in studio next week when I'm in town. We will talk soon, though, guys. Until then, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to go run a few other things. And tomorrow, I'm taking off for tomorrow and Saturday. Headed to DC next week for the 4th of July. Hanging out with a bunch of fun people, and hopefully have a good time. So until then,